think of the typical American, or the typical Texan, what comes to mind? Baseball and apple pie? Cowboy hats and pickup trucks? A few weeks ago, I spent an afternoon in the booming metropolis known as Dallas-Fort Worth, home to the largest honky-tonk in the world. But my day in Dallas was filled with curry, sitar music, saris, cricket matches, and henna tattoos. And I really didn't have to look that hard to find it. According to the 2010 census, there are over 100,000 Indians living in the Dallas area alone. I was able to get a guided tour of the Indian culture in Dallas from an old college friend. His family is originally from Kerala, the southern state of India. Dallas and the surrounding cities have a wide variety of stores, restaurants, and other businesses that cater to Indians and those who love the Indian culture. Patel Brothers grocery store was my first stop, and it was not what I expected. The grocery store was much larger than any specialty grocery I had ever been in. This was not a store where you would go to pick up the obvious Indian treats like naan bread and ready-made curry. Instead, it had a huge specialty produce section and an entire aisle dedicated to spices, and aisles with signs for things I had never even heard of. I was the only non-Indian in the store. Many of the Indians were dressed in Western clothes, but I did see a man wearing a turban, evidence of a dedication to his home culture. I began to feel very self-conscious of the cultural norms and etiquette. I found myself wondering if it was inappropriate of me to make eye contact with the men. My experience at Patel Brothers Grocery has shown me that the Indian immigrant culture in America has a very strong desire to maintain their cultural heritage. The last few weeks, I have been busily planning my wedding. I was fortunate enough to speak with an Indian girl who is my age and who is also planning her wedding. She is planning a beautiful traditional Hindu wedding, but it quickly became clear when we traded notes that our wedding days are going to look vastly different. And while other immigrant cultures, like my own Italian family, have lost many of their traditions, I'm very impressed that these Indian immigrants have been able to maintain their traditions. I now not only see the Indian immigrants in America as hardworking business people, but as families who strive to maintain their cultural heritage while living in America.